Ooh, oh, ah! Ah, ah. Huh. Mm. Yep. Uh-huh. Mm. Hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Moses, and welcome to Build Curious. YouTube does not seem to enjoy my Sims 4 videos, but we're going to keep making them in anyways. But before we go any further in today's video, remember to leave any suggestions down in the comments if there is something that you would like to see. And as you'll notice in today's video, we are kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. And that's because we're going to go completely off grid. Not only are we going to be going off grid, but we're going to add a little bit of a challenge to this video. It's been a really long time, and in fact, I haven't seen it around on YouTube in a long time as well. But our challenge is going to be building in a 5 by 5 grid. In one of my previous videos, I did a 5 by 5 by 3. And that's kind of the similar concept that we're going to be using today. We've got a 5 by 5 grid, but we're allowed to go up, with the exception of a few things scattered around the lot. I would really like this to kind of look like a little survivalist junkyard of sorts. So we'll play around with that. But the main house is going to be 5 by 5. And of course, we are allowed to go up. So this lot is definitely much bigger than what we need for 5 by 5, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put our house somewhere around here. Is that 5 by 5? Now, I think, I'm not so sure, but maybe I want to have the bottom section be medium walls. I'm thinking of doing something a little bit more open, kind of like this. And immediately we can kind of see that it's definitely going into that junker, scrapper kind of look. And because it's going to be like this kind of off-grid survivalist house, I want to use or have this like reclaimed metal looking appearance. And then we should have stairs kind of going up along the side like that. And then of course we got to put up our railing. And one more thing that I think I would like to have at the bottom here is this kind of fence. Something like that. And then, of course, we need to have an entrance. Also, I feel like this steel beam up here is maybe just like a little bit too big. I really wish there was something in between that also looked a bit like steel. I don't think we're going to find that. We'll have to maybe settle for that instead. Now, everything about this house, in my opinion, should look like it was kind of just salvaged from somewhere, like nothing really belongs with each other. I'm contemplating a roof. I'm not so sure if I want to do one. So maybe something like this. I'm not sure if I like it though. Or perhaps something a little bit more like this. We do still, however, need to get another staircase going up to the next floor, which we will again, I think, do on the side of the building. We could also use a ladder, perhaps, to go to the floor below. So one thing that's going to be quite important throughout this entire build is we should really think about like functionality, right? So the sunroof, I think, is a great idea because you're trying to not use power throughout the day. So having a roof that allows sun in, great idea, right? And another thing we would need is going to be something like solar water heater. So maybe if we had three like this, and also the sun kind of comes from the perfect direction. So it really makes a lot of sense. Also, I'm wondering if three is perhaps maybe a bit too much. You know, it's not meant to be like the most functional off grid thing. It should look a little scrappy. So I think maybe one is good. And maybe that applies for the water heater as well. Let's start by actually doing some of the house. So, one thing I want to keep in mind is that certain things are going to be outside. This is definitely a great place to have our workshop. And also, with the new kit that came out, we've got like the perfect things to create a really cool looking workshop. And I'm also thinking we should definitely have some garden patches or something like that to really help with like a garden that we can use for food. I'm going to filter specifically for our restoration workshop items so we can get a good look at all the new stuff. So this I definitely want. And of course, all these things need to look a bit raggedy. I really like the red. Man, I just love how these things stack as well. It's so cool. We've also got some sawdust, which I definitely like to use, as well as there's like a bunch of other stains. Yeah, here we go. Decorations under the carpets. There's like okay, well, these you can barely see. There we go. These you can. So I want to use some of these for, I'm not sure what yet, but I think it'll add like a really good amount of detail. I'm definitely thinking about using this item. I mean, it's like the perfect thing to use out here. We're going to keep it here for now. I mean, you never know. Even if it is just kind of visual, that'd be kind of cool to have. Yeah, here we go. So this stove over here, right? So it looks new, but once you put it down, bah, looks super old and really bad. And I kind of like that. And I just want to leave it here. I don't really want it to be restored. Also, it wouldn't work off grid, but it does look kind of cool. I'm also thinking that perhaps it would look kind of cool if we took the same fence. That's not a fence. And we put one around the lot like so. Maybe it's just best to have an open entrance like so. But I think we're going to stick with the fence, at least for now. Man, I have just made a very shocking discovery, and that is I would actually really like to do some terraforming to this place. I think simply just leaving it flat is okay, but I think we can get so much more out of this build if we do just a little bit of terraforming. So I think what I'm going to do is just quickly off camera level the playing field, but not level it. You know what I mean? I have some idea of what I want. Maybe put this kind of like on a small hill. I want to have like a little pond or river or something like that. And I'm going to try and squeeze all of that in on this lot and see what we can do. It's going to be a bit tough seeing as this building is already been put down, but it's okay. We'll work that out. I thought perhaps it might be a good idea just to kind of stop here for a moment and show you guys what I've been doing. So I just slightly raised the elevation just so that, I don't know, it's not so flat because flat can be pretty boring, right? Um, and we're just going to kind of go around and add a bit of life. So I got this pond over here with some chairs floating in it. I might take that out. I don't know. I was just curious if it would look cool having like junk in the pond. So yeah, that's pretty much all we've done. We've got a little bit of a zigzag path going around. I think Sims will probably just kind of cut through. So I'm going to see if I can't actually stop that from happening. Just because, why not inconvenience them when we can? So yeah, now you can see what we're going for. Obviously, with this kind of elevation, it does remove a lot of space to build things, to make cool things. So we'll have to use our space a bit wisely, like having a chicken coop probably is now out of the question. There is but a small chance that I got carried away. And I would say, I think the exterior is pretty much finished. But there was a lot and it took some time. So I'll just quickly kind of go through what we did here so you can see. We've got our entrance, which I think looks pretty cool, some interesting signs. And as soon as you walk in, we've got this little garden, right? Because we've got that challenge on the lot, which is simple living. So you need ingredients to cook. I was thinking of adding other things like the chicken coop, because I think, you know, that would be helpful, but it's not necessary. And we're kind of out of space. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, so we've got our garden over here, and we've got this little item which ought to help with gardening. And also, it just looks very cool. And then at the back over here, and I'd love to see what it will look like once these effects are actually active. We'll need a sim in here to do that. But yeah, I'll pond with some dragonflies, mosquitoes, and a little bubbling bit of water to add some mystery. Anyway, so as we go straight down this path, we end up here with our. It's a bar. It's not exactly like the most fitting thing for this place. I just really thought it looked amazing here, and I just couldn't resist. So we've got a bar, we've got the bus, and then the bar inside, and then also like a nice grill, which is really going to help with the off the grid living. I think I will add something inside the house as well, of course, but it's I think helpful to have something on the outside as well. And then our water catcher helps with green eco and off the grid living. So that's this corner here at the back. Then it's kind of like the split path. So once you go up to the top over here, we've got, well, little rabbit hole home, I think. I'm not really sure what that does though, to be honest with you. I don't know what the rabbits do. But anyways, and then up here is just like a cool little place to, use the telescope and some toxic barrels right next to it because, oh, and down here, I almost forgot, it's just some more planters because I don't know if this is going to really cover everything. So it's just, I think, helpful to have an extra two over here, which I thought was nice. And then also on this side, which also should help with the simple living, is a bug farm. I'm not sure what this provides, to be honest. I don't know what the bug farm provides. But the bee one gives you wax and honey. The wax you could use for candles. I was thinking of adding like a little candle maker inside here, but I'm wondering if I don't have too many things going on. I'm not sure. I'll kind of figure that out as we go because we do have a woodworking bench. We have a telescope. We have a bar. We have a farm. So there's a lot going on. So I wasn't sure if I should add more on top of that. And then at the back here on this side, we've got our generator for just like a little bit of extra power, for some of the things that might require electricity. And then like this outside tent shower, which I'm not sure if I'm going to replace. I don't know if I like it there. But anyways. And then, yeah, I just made sure everywhere looked nice and natural. A lot of bushes and plants and dirt paths and everything that I think will make it look realistic. And now all that's left is to finish the house. Don't mind the bicycle frames on the wall. I was looking at something. And also, I think these windows probably need to go because they just don't really match the rest of this vibe. So now all that's left is to do the interior. I should probably delete these frames. I'm just wondering if I don't want to use them. So as for the interior, we've got the first floor here, or second actually, and then the third. And I'm thinking that this one over here will be like the kitchen area, and we still need a toilet as well, so we got to put that in. Of course, everything needs to remain off the grid, functional. So probably the kitchen and like living space down here, and then like a bedroom up here with, I really wanted to have like robotics or something, right? All right. So first things first, we need to decide the wallpaper and the floors. I'm not actually sure what we're going to do for lighting because that's going to require electricity, right? Yeah. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do with the lighting situation, but just so we can kind of see what's going on, I'm just going to drop these on the ceiling. All right, and there you have it. We have pretty much finished just about everything. I might still make one or two minor adjustments as we go on, but I think that is just about it for now. So, something I did add, which you might not have seen, is this recycler because it creates fuel for our generator. And something that was just a good call was this bug farm allows you to create like this bio bug fuel or something, which you can then in turn use for the generator as well. It'll allow us to use the computer, the workstation up here for the robotics, and of course the light in the bathroom because you're going to need that. And the TV. Don't forget the TV. There is a solar panel as well. I don't know if it's a bit much, but it is there. However, on, conditions as now with the rainy weather, it just won't work. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. We have reached the end of our build, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And remember, if you did, to leave a like and drop a comment. But that is it from me for now, and I'll see you all in the next one. This is Moses, getting ready to bounce.